Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bells Beach. It's the Rip Curl Pro. It's the fourth stop on the championship tour. Already, this event has been filled with drama. Today, we're going to be looking at days 3 and 4 and some of the best waves from those days. Let's get right into it. Starting with the heat that has probably drawn more attention than any other heat this year. It is Gabriel Medina versus Cole Houshmand in the round of 32. And already, this heat and the judging has been soaked in controversy. Let's take a look at Cole's waves here. So he's on a backhander for the goofy foot. Some nice snaps. And really a day where the waves aren't that big. Here he is soaking Gabe Medina in a little bit of spray that's coming off the top. Just a bit of a foreshadowing of what's to come. And, you know, here he is on his claim with the wave that he likes, and the judges like it too. They gave him a 747 for that one. That was his last wave, and that's really what it all came down to. He got a 6.8 earlier in the heat to combat Medina's 6.67. There's been a lot of talk online, if you've been following on social media, questioning, you know, the judges and some of the judging that went down in this competition. Houshmand got a 6.8 and a 7.47 to combine for a 14.27. Medina got a 6.67 and a 7.10 to combine for a 13.77. And unfortunately, I don't have Medina's waves to show you guys today, but Medina really linked together some nice turns on a similar looking wave that we just saw Houshmand take. But he linked together a couple of different floaters, some nice flourishes, and a little bit more variety than maybe even Houshmand here. And I think that's really why folks are really calling into question whether or not Cole merited the scores that he got, or at least, you know, questioning whether Gabby got snubbed by some of the judges. Gabriel Medina, in his interview, he said, "This is the worst judging I've ever seen. It's bad for the sport. I've been through a lot of judging things, but maybe this is the worst one." So heated words from Gabriel Medina. It's a tough spot to be in for Cole Houshmand. This is he's in his rookie year. This is his first year on tour. To his credit, he was gracious in his interview and stoked to be able to surf against Gabby, a surfer who he's called one of his favorites. And this isn't the first time we've had judging discrepancies in the WSL, and it certainly won't be the last. So let's move on to Matthew McGillivray. The South African here puts up a few solid scores. He gets a 5.73 and a 7.77 against Samuel Pupo. And this is a nice one here that he lines up. This was one of his last waves, and he knew he needed something big. Hucks an air reverse and stomps the landing to solidify his win against Samuel Pupo. Both of these heats were in day 3. There was some other action in day 3. We had the battle of the Colapinto bros, Griffin versus Cosby, which was fun. Can you imagine facing off in a heat against your brother on the championship tour? Just crazy stuff. Big bro handled little bro handily in that round. Griffin knocked out Crosby and advances to take on Jake Marshall. So let's take a look at a few heats from day 4. Starting again with our boy Cole Houshmand, who, you know, despite the controversy against the heat against Gabriel Medina, comes in and here is in a solid heat against Ethan Ewing, and the rookie from San Clemente, who's been steadily gaining ground ever since the tour opened at Pipe. He's finished 33rd, then 17th, then 9th in Portugal at the last event. And here he is taking down Ethan Ewing in the quarterfinals, so he'll move into the semis, and he locks his position there. Next, we'll look at Griffin Colapinto in the gold jersey, taking on Jake Marshall. Here he is on a big air, stomps the landing, and Griffin here is just so technical in his surfing, in his ability to link together a variety of different maneuvers and score big with the judges. He won the Surf Ranch Pro last year, an event somewhat notorious for being boring to watch, but extremely difficult to win. And here you see why he's able to win, in heats like that, hucking a big air reverse there to finish. I'm actually wearing my Surf Ranch t-shirt here, which was an epic experience to go. That'll be a story for a different day. But Griffin handles Jake Marshall and moves on to the semis. Let's take a look at Brisa Hennessy versus Sawyer Lindblad. So here the Costa Rican is taking off on a big wave on her forehand. She's facing Sawyer Lindblad in this heat, who previously knocked out Molly Picklum in the previous round. So Sawyer's been on a bit of a tear. And Brisa has had an excellent start to this year. She has 2 third-place finishes before needing to pull out in Portugal due to an injury. And she wins this heat against Sawyer with an 8.5 and a 7.33. And she's just won one event in her 7 years on tour. And so she's looking for her second. She advances to the semifinals. Here we have Johanne DeFay from France. She's coming off a win at Portugal. And here she is in a heat against the Australian wildcard, Ellie Harrison, who knocked out Tyler Wright on day 2. And she puts up some excellent scores. Here she is patiently waiting for a little finishing section. She gets a 6.5 and a 5.63. And she's heading into the semifinals, sitting at world number 1 after her performance so far at Bells, which has, pushed her to the top. So, folks, that is it for days 3 and 4. And actually, really quickly, let's take a look at the brackets here. So on the men's side, we have Colapinto, world number 1, and then 3 other surfers, all 3 of whom were not even in the top 20 when this event began at Bells. Colapinto is going to face off against Rio Waida, the first Indonesian on the tour, and he's in the semis for his first time ever. So no matter what happens, he'll have his best finish so far on tour. And then McGillivray versus Houshmand. If Cole Houshmand goes on to win, does that validate his heat against Gabby? We'll see. But, regardless, really good performance from the rookie here. And then on the women's side, Sparks will be sure to fly in these semifinals. Caroline Marks is coming off a tight win against Tatiana Weston Webb, and she'll take on Caitlin Simmers from Oceanside. Brisa Hennessy looking for just her second event win. And then she's taking on Johanne DeFay, the world number 1. So, folks, that is it. It is all going down on finals day at Bells. So we'll see you there.